guys, it's Ahmer here. So here we are back with another episode in my series where I take you guys along with me on my collecting journey of trying to grow my Super Nintendo collection. So I decided to try and find some Super Nintendo games at TooManyGames. So did I score too many games or did I not find anything at all? Let's go ahead and check out this week's footage. So at TooManyGames, I found tons of Super Nintendo games, and I had to go searching for those deals because there were so many overpriced games within the mix, so I really had to be selective on which tables I went to. But overall, I found tons of Super Nintendo games. So last week we left off with 383 games, and are we going to make it to 400 this week? We'll just find out. So if you guys are enjoying this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you never miss out on any updates, especially in the Super Nintendo series. So we are getting closer to the 400 mark, leaving off with 383, so just a few away from that 400 mark. And as I go through, I brought my list and I was diligently searching at each table, trying to find some of those inexpensive games and trying to find some that were deals. So everything that you're about to see, I think I got for right around the $100 mark or something insane like that. So let's go ahead and check out those games. So first up, I actually found this Toys game. So this is Toys, Let the Toy Wars Begin. But this is not a very good video game. So as you kind of go through, you have to destroy the toys by using like these other toys as your weapons. So pretty much you have this guy who takes over the toys and how they're made, and it just starts a whole all-out war. So you get to use all of these different weapons like a bowling ball, these different guns like a peanut gun, you have this race car, and you just have to try and aim your best in this game trying to destroy everything that comes at you. But it is a little bit challenging, so it's not really the most entertaining game, but it's definitely an interesting one that I didn't even know existed. Then I actually found this game for a really good deal. So here we have Soldiers of Fortune, a really fun style game. So you have like these 8 directions that you get to run around, and this is pretty much one of those like shoot everything, survive, and try and find the exits. You have these different soldiers, like 6 of them. You get a computer AI partner, and it's just a really fun time. So you don't have the split screen if you do play with the 2 players. You get to buy different abilities, and you have this whole entire leveling up system. The replay value is definitely there. I absolutely love this so far, and it's even called the Chaos Engine in other areas. So this is a game that you guys should definitely stay tuned for, and definitely look out for, especially if you're going for the Super Nintendo set, as I don't even think I paid more than like $15 or something for this game. Now this is a game that I am shocked that I didn't even have yet. We have Super Star Wars Return of the Jedi. Probably one of the best ones in this whole, Super Nintendo set, especially when it comes to Star Wars games. So this one looks super beautiful. I absolutely love this game. I really had a blast going through. Everything just looked really awesome. So you have these different characters. So there's like 3 that you get to start off with. And you have different attacks throughout these different characters that you choose. It's really not as challenging as some of the other, Star Wars games that they have. I love how they have like this double jump capability. The gallery shooter is different in this game. You also have like a first person perspective at times. You get this like fun style as it's like vastly different throughout the entire game. And it's definitely a lot better than the others. This is a fantastic, looks spectacular, and really just a fun time, especially playing on the Super Nintendo. And then next up, we have Inspector Gadget. This is a game that I'm a little shocked that they don't even have the theme song. This is one that you instantly think of. It instantly gets stuck in your head, and I can't believe that they didn't even include it in the game. But other than that, this is actually a very fun style game. And it's kind of like your basic, platformer style games. So you have this whole 2D action platformer where you have to save Penny, who was essentially kidnapped. no theme music, which is so bizarre. But you do get tons of power-ups. You get to look for clues. It is pretty fun. You get to just keep on going because you have all of these different abilities. Like you have these suction cups that help you climb. You have a hat that helps you fly. It's kind of like Ghosts and Goblins though, especially if you play this game. It is pretty challenging because there are no saves, no passwords, and you essentially can only get hit twice. So the first time, and then after that, you're dead. So I just love these different special items, and to me, this is definitely an all-time favorite classic cartoon, and the nostalgia really hits home on this particular game. Next up, we have Super Slapshot. So this is one of those hockey titles on the system. It's kind of one of those like generic titles, as there are just so many other sports games infiltrating the Super Nintendo. So I'm sure that there are some other better options, but there wasn't really anything that specifically stood out when I tried to play this the little bit that I did. And then this game right here, I didn't even know that this existed, and I really had such better hopes with it. We have Rap Jam Volume 1. So this is a game that has these rappers and hip-hop artists in the game. Now, the graphics aren't spectacular. You could barely decipher who is who in this game, and there is no music. How can you have Rap Jam but have no music in this particular game? It's just really crazy because this isn't even a good basketball game. But the coolest part is having these rap and hip-hop artists in the game like Coolio, LL Cool J, Public Enemy, House of Pain, Queen Latifah, and just so many others. But the controls are just super clunky, it's not playable, and it really did have a lot of potential, but sadly, it just didn't hold up. And then on to F1 Pole Position. So this is like a generic racing game, but it actually looked pretty interesting, and for a cheaper racing game, this is one that I'm sure that you could have a lot of fun playing. I actually enjoyed the little bit that I played, so this is one I'll have to dive a little bit more into. But such a inexpensive racing game on the Super Nintendo, you just can't beat that. And on to some more sports titles, we have Champions World Class Soccer. Now this featured 32 different countries, and it actually got some funding in other areas, but sadly we didn't really get a lot of these licensable characters and different teams inside of this particular game, but I could see what they were trying to do back then. And then another one, we have Hardball 3. So this one is another game that maybe at the time was a pretty decent baseball game, but especially nowadays, it just does not hold up. So this was another inexpensive game that I scored at the convention. And then Super Battle Tank 2. This game was pretty repetitive. So you're pretty much like in this whole tank, you get this whole, feel of you being in the tank, but everything just seems super repetitive, especially the more and more that you go throughout this game. So this is probably one that I won't spend too much time enjoying or actually trying to dive into. We have Goal. Now that's probably the most exciting part of this game, is the title itself. Now there's not really too much going on. Like I said, there are just so many sports games on the Super Nintendo. Tecmo Super Baseball. So this is a game where obviously they tried to compete with the hype of the football games, but here you have this Americanized baseball game. It looks okay, but once again, there has to be more entertaining games out there than this one right here. But I'm sure that if you played this game back in the day, you might be nostalgic for this particular title compared to the others. And then we have Warlock. So it says, beware the ultimate evil of Warlock. So this one was really not the best game. You have to be patient, especially when you're trying to play it, because it's just super slow. So it does look pretty interesting, but the controls are just hard to adjust to. So the jumping is a little bit odd. There is like this whole stiff and delay feel. Now you do have a first and secondary attack, so I could see what they were trying to go for. It is based off of a movie, but overall, it's just not one that I can recommend for the Super Nintendo. And then this game, I didn't really ever hear of this. This is called the Untouchables. So this is based off of the reboot, not particularly the movie, but pretty much in this game, you just kind of run around. It's based on these different levels. So you have 4 levels, and then once you do that, you get to unlock the 5th. So you have different aspects of the gameplay. So you have this whole gallery shooting. So you have this whole crosshair that's just slow moving. You have to kind of maneuver through. but I like how it switches up where you have this whole run and gun style. That definitely makes it a little bit more interesting, and then even this whole top-down perspective. So you do have like 4 different lives, but no continues and no passwords. So this can be a pretty challenging game. So it might be one that I might dive into just a little bit more, as it has a lot going on in the game. So I'd like to experience some of the different areas and just see what it has to offer. And then I was able to score 4 games for $1 each. So these were actually donated from Game Junction. So he was able to give me these, as I could actually use some of them for the backs as some upgrades as I go along in this whole journey. So with this, I might have hit the 400 mark, but sadly, I added 14 games, which brings me to just under the 400 mark. So we left off with 397 games, so just 3 more, and I will hit the 400 mark, and I can't wait, because there are tons of video game conventions coming up, and I'm really hoping to grow my Super Nintendo collection. So let me know in the comments below which games were among your favorites. Did you like Inspector Gadget? Did you like all of these like lesser sports titles, or these like wacky style games? Definitely the Soldiers of Fortune was a fun one as well. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think about this, and what you guys think about the TooManyGames experience at this cool convention that I went to. Now, although there were tons of overpriced games, I was able to find and score some deals. So of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos, and stay tuned for more.